Following the April 2021 release of the much-awaited live-action remake of the iconic video game Mortal Kombat, it was soon understood that a cinematic franchise is likely to be based on and around it. Joe Taslim, who played a key role as Sub-Zero in the movie, revealed a 4-film contract, while director Simon McQuoid expressed interest in a sequel with a strong story. McQuoid also explained the major point of concern for fans, which was that the iconic Johnny Cage was omitted from the first film to maintain balance, but he would be considered for future installments alongside characters like Katana, with a desire for more female representation. Co-writer Greg Russo envisioned the reboot as a possible trilogy by categorizing them into pre-tournament, during tournament, and post-tournament. But by late 2021 and early 2022, the sequel was officially confirmed, with Jeremy Slater of the Fantastic Four and the Umbrella Academy fame as the scriptwriter. Slater has definitely indicated Johnny Cage's inclusion and a plan to embrace the franchise's weirdness by aiming for unpredictability. He also stated the sequel would address fan feedback from the first film. And in July 2022, New Line Productions showed the light to the project, with Simon McQuoid returning to direct. Mortal Kombat 2021 recap. Now, before we move on to understand what is to come in the form of a sequel, in terms of the story as well as the process behind moving the franchise forward, we should first have a quick look at how we got here in the first place and what is everything we know as of now. So let us begin by covering the story of the Mortal Kombat film, which was released in 2021. Our story kicks off in 17th century Japan. Back then, a terrible event had taken place. A scary killer named Baihan, who later becomes the ice-powered Sub-Zero, led a tragic attack on Hanzo Hasashi's family and his clan. It was a complete massacre where everyone was killed, including Hanzo's loved ones. Hanzo, a great ninja himself, fought hard against Baihan. He managed to kill many of the bad guys, but by the end, he was badly hurt and eventually died. His soul, instead of going to peace, was pulled into a bad place of pain called the Netherrealm. But there was a little bit of hope. Raiden, the mighty thunder god, stepped in right then. He found Hanzo's baby daughter, who was the only one left alive, and he took her to safety, knowing that her family was important. This simple act of kindness set the stage for a future where old family lines and big plans from the cosmos would intertwine by tying the past to a hard fight that was yet to come. Many years later, the balance between worlds was very shaky. The strong world of Outworld had beaten Earthrealm 9 times in a row in fights that were called Mortal Kombat. The rules put forth for the future were clear and scary. If Earthrealm lost a 10th fight, Outworld would completely take it over. But there was an old prophecy that gave a little hope. It said that Hanzo Hasashi's blood would bring together new champions for Earthrealm, stopping Outworld from winning everything. When he heard about this prophecy, the smart but evil sorcerer Shang Tsung, who was a powerful leader from Outworld, decided to act fast. He sent his most dangerous fighters to Earthrealm with a clear job, and that was to get rid of Earthrealm's possible champions before the 10th fight could even start. You could easily spot these champions by a special dragon mark on their bodies, a sign of their connection to the Mortal Kombat world and their hidden power. Shang Tsung's cruel plan was a quick way to weaken Earthrealm and to make sure Outworld won without a challenge. In the middle of this growing danger, we get to meet Cole Young. He's an everyday MMA fighter living a calm life with his family. Their normal routine breaks when Baihan, now known as Sub-Zero, suddenly attacks them with his ice powers. But they're saved when Special Forces Major Jackson Briggs shows up just in time. Jax, as he's called, bravely fights off Sub-Zero, but it costs him dearly as he loses both of his arms. Before he's too hurt to move, Jax tells the Young family to find his friend Sonya Blade, who is a smart and determined investigator. Cole follows Jax's directions and goes to Sonya's hidden place. There, he finds Sonya questioning a captured Australian soldier, Kano, who's a bit rough and unpredictable. It becomes clear that Jax and Sonya have both been looking into the strange things happening and the clear proof that Mortal Kombat is real. Their talk stops quickly when Syzoth, a weird and fast killer sent by Shang Tsung, ambushes them. In a surprise turn of events, Kano, with a sneaky smile, helps Cole and Sonya kill Syzoth. showing the nature and the possibility of odd friendships forming in tough moments. Now with Scythoth gone, the three set off on an important trip to Raiden's temple, considered to be a safe place for Earthrealm's champions. When they get there, they meet two strong figures. One is the disciplined fighter named Liu Kang, and the other is his quiet cousin, Kung Lao, who wears a razor-sharp hat. The mood at first is a bit tense, as Raiden, the Thunder God himself, is a bit unsure about the new arrivals, and especially Cole. But they also find Jax at the temple, which is a relief. It turns out Raiden had saved him and given him strong mechanical arms, allowing him to fight again. The temple's peace doesn't last too long, as Shang Tsung tries to attack directly. But then Raiden counters with his holy power, which covers the whole temple with a shield, and as a result, pushes Shang Tsung back and away. Now, under Raiden's guidance, Cole and Kano start hard training with Liu Kang and Kung Lao to awaken their special powers all Dragon Mark owners have, called the Arcana. During an occasion of a big fight, Kano's hot temper triggers this Arcana of his, which allows him to shoot strong lasers from his scarred eye, which he begins to love doing. However, Cole still struggles to find his power, and with this, Raiden was feeling a bit let down, and as a result, he sends Cole back to his family, but also tells him a very important fact, and it's that Cole is a direct descendant of Hanzo Hasashi, and hence connects him directly to the prophecy and the old historic fight. But the quiet time later on doesn't last for long. Shang Tsung gathers his fighters again, and one of them is Cabal, a fast and sneaky killer who tricks Kano into betraying Earthrealm and turning off Raiden's shield, which would leave the temple open and vulnerable to attack. Then a fierce battle starts. In the fight, Jax finally awakens his own Arcana by getting amazing superhuman strength and making his mechanical arms into powerful weapons. At the same time, Cole's family, who are sent away for safety, are then attacked by the four-armed huge Goro. In this desperate moment, as he's fighting to protect his loved ones, Cole's Arcana finally sparks. He gets a strong armor that can easily take hits, and along with that, a pair of deadly tonfas. With his newly found powers, Cole beats Goro and rushes back to help fight off the temple attack. As Raiden gets ready to move the Earthrealm fighters to a safe spot between worlds called the Void, Sub-Zero tries to stop Cole. In a selfless act, Kung Lao saves Cole from Sub-Zero. But because of this, Shang Tsung cruelly takes his soul. It's a chilling reminder of the sorcerer's devious and malicious power. After Kung Lao's tragic death, the now determined Cole suggests a bold new plan, and that is that they'll make Outworld's remaining champions fight them one-on-one before they all eventually team up to get rid of Sub-Zero. Raiden agrees to this plan as he knows its importance and how badly it's needed. He gives Cole a kunai, which was Hanzo's blade, and it still has traces of Hanzo's blood on it. This kunai is a key link to the past and of importance to Cole's lineage. Raiden then sends Cole and his friends to their targets, setting up the final fights. The Earthrealm champions all have fierce battles in different places. Sonya Blade shows great courage in her battle and ends up killing Kano. And in a surprise turn of events, she gets his dragon mark on her, which now lets her shoot energy blasts from her arms. Meanwhile, Sub-Zero, the sneaky mind that he is as always, kidnaps Cole's family and uses them to trick Cole into a one-on-one fight. Sub-Zero's endless ice attacks seem to be too overwhelming for Cole. But then, when he uses the kunai to fight, and as he drains the blood from it, Hanzo Hasashi suddenly appears from the Netherrealm, now reborn as the vengeful ghost Scorpion. Seeing Cole as his family, Scorpion, burning with years of anger, helps Cole in his brutal fight against Sub-Zero and finally ends his evil rule. After they win, Scorpion thanks Cole for freeing him, and before he disappears, he asks him to protect the Hasashi family lineage. The fighting then stops as Raiden, the other champions, and a beaten-up yet bold Shang Tsung arrive. Shang Tsung, even though Raiden had sent him away for now, gives a scary warning by promising to come back with whole armies behind him for the next time they meet. Raiden says he will train new warriors for the next big fight and tells his current champions to find them. With his job clear, Cole heads to Los Angeles with the objective to look for the famous movie star Johnny Cage, who's a flashy, strong fighter, and his special skills will be very much essential for Earthrealm to survive in the fights to come. This strong ending gets us ready for the next part of the big fight for Earthrealm's future and promises new friends, more problems, and also also the arrival of even more well-known characters from the iconic world of Mortal Kombat. Things to watch out for in Mortal Kombat 2. Early indicators suggest a potential reorientation of the primary character focus within Mortal Kombat 2. The 2021 film established Cole Young, who was an original character, as its central protagonist. The narrative arc, including the final act, with him culminating in his alliance with Scorpion, and later on, the duo defeating Sub-Zero, presumably positioned him as the continuing lead. However, in spite of efforts to solidify Cole as the hero and the face of this new cinematic franchise, a point that generated some division among long-standing Mortal Kombat fans was due to his absence in the original lore of the video game storyline. Now, current information suggests a possible shift in prominence to other characters with the progress of the movie franchise as the makers gear up for the sequel later this year. As October 2025 approaches, anticipation and hype build for the release of Mortal Kombat 2. This new installment promises to expand on the original story and its characters while introducing exciting new additions. Simon McQuoid has returned to direct the sequel, providing continuity and leadership. Jeremy Slater, the writer for the sequel, has hinted that fans can expect a film that is funnier and bigger than its predecessor. He also revealed one of the most exciting revelations which is to be included in the sequel, and that is the presence of the actual tournament, a core element of the Mortal Kombat games that was completely absent from the first movie. Slater, reflecting on his work, expressed his deep connection to the Mortal Kombat franchise by confessing himself to be a longtime fan. He compared his experience writing the sequel to putting a quarter into an arcade machine and starting a new game, as he emphasized the immense honor and the cool factor of bringing these iconic characters to life while also reliving nostalgic memories. He recalled surreal moments, like having conversations with Liu Kang in his warrior robes and watching him perform incredible martial arts moves as he highlighted the immersive experience the production offered. However, the journey to release Mortal Kombat 2 has taken longer than initially expected, primarily due to the SAG-AFTRA strike, which impacted entire production schedules. However, filming was successfully wrapped up in early 2024, and Slater expressed tremendous excitement for the movie. He shared enthusiastic feedback from test screenings, particularly from audiences that consisted of dedicated, long-time Mortal Kombat fans. These screenings reportedly got reactions similar to those for blockbusters like Avengers Endgame, with fans cheering and jumping out of their seats and thoroughly feeling every moment of intensity and enjoying every joke. Slater described these moments as one of the greatest moments of his life, and an ideal response he'd hoped for after the passion and dedication invested in the film. He also highly praised the exceptional stunt team and the phenomenal performances of the cast. Despite existing guideposts from the previous film, Slater was initially adamant about incorporating the iconic tournament plotline, which was a cornerstone of the original games. This was a key challenge, though. Doubts were raised in how they would structure the film to make the tournament as satisfying and visually pleasing as possible, considering years of fan anticipation. He also stressed that they could not make audiences wait for a whole other movie in the franchise for the actual tournament to be finally recreated in a live-action format. But a significant and probably important shift in focus for Mortal Kombat 2 appears to be the prominence of the iconic Johnny Cage, played by none other than Karl Urban, who's red-hot and straight from the success of The Boys. The ending of the first movie explicitly sets up Cole Young's search for Cage, suggesting he would join Cole's journey. Ed Boon, who is the producer of the film and also the co-creator of the Mortal Kombat games, strongly suggested that Johnny Cage will become the audience's primary viewpoint in the new film. This is a very clear indicator that Cage might not just be a supporting player, but could take on a central role, with the main spotlight possibly moving away from Cole Young and his leading position in the 2021 movie. Placing a popular character like Johnny Cage at the forefront also makes sense from both a marketing perspective and a fan service one. On top of that, Karl Urban's notable star power, and with him arguably being the biggest name in the Mortal Kombat 2 cast, likely influenced this decision, as most studios often prefer to leverage well-known actors to attract a wider audience, per particularly in cases of franchise films. Despite the clear reasons for highlighting Johnny Cage, the creative decision of pushing Cole Young completely to the side would feel like an odd narrative choice, especially since the first film relied heavily on the importance of Cole's character, and also the revelation that showcased the importance of Cole's lineage regarding the battles, superpowers, and raising the stakes in general. And now completely diminishing Cole's established development from the first movie, where he defeated Goro and confronted Sub-Zero, might hurt the overall progress of the narrative. Cole has already proven his worth as a champion, and it might feel unsettling to have someone else suddenly assume the primary leadership role in Earthrealm's fight against Outworld. The first movie even ended with Cole seeking Cage out, with the hopes of seeking his assistance. That setup implied Cage would join Cole, but not replace and literally substitute him. But the current marketing for the sequel heavily favors Cage, featuring him prominently in early images and even a fake movie poster. In contrast, there's been a noticeable silence about Cole Young, which has sparked questions among fans who expected the previous main character to receive more attention. While there's hope that Cole's role could be a secret for a surprise trailer reveal, the current focus puts Johnny Cage in the limelight, and this evident shift towards established game characters and away from new additions like Cole Young might signal the franchise's future direction as well. Furthermore, it's important to note that Johnny Cage has historically been more of a comic relief and a flashy movie star in the games, rather than the core protagonist, or even an emotional figure at the center. But with the writer of the sequel announcing the second film to be a funnier one, it would have probably led him into focusing on Cage's already known character more in order to align with his own creative interests at heart. And now the makers seem to be prioritizing nostalgia and fan-favorite characters to primarily attract the video game audience, who particularly had mixed reactions to the first film. Keeping aside the concerns about the dwindling limelight on Cole, there's still reason for fans to believe that he will play an important role in the sequel. The second part is said to feature a greater set of fan-favorite characters, and this maintains the hope that Cole might simply be sharing the screen more this time, rather than being completely sidelined, which was the initial fear as mentioned before. Once the official trailer is released, Lewis Tan's character will likely be seen back in action, though perhaps not as the sole central figure. Another major plot point generating excitement is the anticipated return of Baihan, the original Sub-Zero. Even though he seemingly met a fiery end at Scorpion's hand, death is rarely a guarantee in the universe of Mortal Kombat. In the video games, Baihan eventually returns as Noob Saibot, who's a darker and more vengeful version of his former self. This transformation seemingly appears to be on the cards for the movie as well. Joe Taslim, the actor who portrayed Sub-Zero, is set to return, which strongly hints at his resurrection as Noob Saibot. This also opens up an entirely new chapter for the character, providing fans with a fresh and more challenging villain. If Baihan truly returns as this shadowy figure of Noob Saibot, it would then imply more than just another battle, and would much likely promise an intense new showdown with Scorpion, as it reignites their historic rivalry that dramatically shaped the opening as well as the closing moments of the 2021 film. This transformation also adds a chilling new layer of supernatural threat and complexity to the epic fight for the survival of Earthrealm. Outro. And with that, we reach the end of this video. We hope you thoroughly enjoyed this detailed recap of the Mortal Kombat film franchise, as we tried giving you all the essential information before the highly anticipated release of the second movie, scheduled to hit theaters this October. The first film left us on a suspenseful and thrilling note, and now, with newer additions to the cast and fresh creative decisions, along with promises of the second film being a funnier and bigger sequel that will also finally feature the actual tournament, the stage is set for something extraordinary. We're all on the edge of our seats, eager to discover what exciting new battles, characters, and tragedies the makers have in store for us this time around. The wait is almost over for the next chapter. And if you did enjoy this recap video, then be sure to drop a like, and don't forget to share it with your friends. And please feel free to subscribe to Marvelous Videos for more such content. Until we meet next time, take care, and ciao.